Alrighty, so today we are going to recap the two CONCACAF Champions Cup game round of 16 leg one involving MLS team. And yes, believe it or not, there were goals that were scored in these games. I mean, it's hard to believe, but it seems like the CONCACAF gods have finally allowed MLS team to score in the CONCACAF Champions Cup round of 16 leg one. But we start off with this one between New England and Alajulense, and I gotta say, out of all the CCC game that I've seen with MLS team that have played so far this season, this is probably the most surprising one because, coming into this game for New England, it seems like Caleb Porter decided to go with a bit of a reserve squad, which was kind of surprised because, they're facing against a team that, at least I thought they were the best team remaining in the region that is not Liga MX's team. Technically, that's not true anymore because I did some research in terms of looking at the rankings, and technically Heredino is a little higher than Alajuelense in terms of the team that is the highest remain that is not a Liga MX opponent. But that being said, I mean, this was kind of surprising to see the Revs play probably the best game of this season, despite the fact that they pretty much put a reserve squad, and not to mention Carlos Hill was not available in this game, and it seems like he magically transferred his power to his brother Nacho Hill because this was his show, and also the reserve show in terms of just dominating against Alajuelense. Though I will say that that's not how it started. And one thing I also would say is that no one was there on a rainy early kickoff in Foxborough. So I mentioned before, anytime when the weather is bad and especially is in the middle of the week, and not to mention it's a 6 p.m. kickoff, which is a ridiculously early kickoff for a CONCACAF Champions Cup game. It's not a surprise that nobody basically showed up in this game. I mean, I talked about last time when New England played in a CONCACAF Champions Cup game against Independiente, and there was like maybe like 3,000 fans. Here it looks like probably hundreds of people just showed up in this game, and again, that's really not a good look in terms of seeing the stands completely empty in a 60,000 canvas stadium. But in the 12th minute, the first shot of the game did see Ravis deny Burgess on the free kick before Mora puts it high from long range. And like I said, it did not start off well for New England. I mean, it already looked like this reserve red side is already under the pressure. Though in the 27th minute, Maria would deny Harks from close range, as I thought New England started to get into this game, and they were rewarded by that by scoring the first goal of the game. As Nick Lima would score from Dewan Jones to make it 1-0 in favor of New England. So the two fullbacks kind of combining here. That's something we usually don't see, and what a delivery that is from Dewan Jones. We know he's very good in terms of those delivery. And actually, I said that it's the two fullbacks. Technically, Dewan Jones is not a fullback, but who is a fullback is Nick Lima. I mean, Nick Lima, he's known to score some amazing goal, even during his time with the San Jose Earthquakes. And this was a great finish here. Just hit it off the volley like that, and just like that, the Revs take a 1-0 lead. Nacho Gil then look for another, but he hits it right to Maria. But then in the 41st minute, the guy that's been scoring pretty much every single game in the CONCACAF Champions Cup, Thomas Shankalai, he scored again here. As he scored here from Nacho Hill to make it 3-0 in favor of New England. And again, it feels like Nacho Hill was playing his brother's spot with the way that looks very very similar to his brother with the passing skill that he's shown. But most importantly, it was 2-0 in favor of New England heading into the second half. And things gets even better for the Revs in the second half as well, because a penalty was given to them after Sedeno would handball this one into the box, which allowed Sean Kalai a chance to score his second goal from the penalty spot. Although, as we mentioned before, scoring from the penalty spots this season involving MLS team has not been an easy task. Just don't tell that to Thomas Shankly. He buries that one top right corner to make it 3-0 in favor of New England. And then 5 minutes later, it would be 4-0 in favor of New England, as Ismail Bertovic would score from Lima to make it 4-0 in favor of the Revs. And I don't even know who are these Revs team, because I don't recognize this New England Revolution side from what I've seen in league play, where they were really struggling. And I think maybe this is kind of the sign that maybe Caleb Porter should rely on some of his reserve a little bit more heading into the weekend's matchup, because it's pretty clear that his reserve is playing much better compared to the first team that New England have started in terms of league play. But in the 57th minute, Sean Kalai did go for a hat trick, but he hits it right to Maria. We then go for a period where not much really happened because New England was up 4-0 in this one. They pretty much could just cruise their way to a victory. Harkswood then hits one right to Maria before Mora hits one right to Ravis in the 79th minute. And I also wrote that just got kind of a side note for New England that as much as they have been very dominant in this game, they do not want to concede an away goal because the away goal is definitely worth a lot, just as how is it worth a lot to Union and also Houston fans in terms of how big it is to get an away goal, or you can even ask St. Louis how devastating it was to concede an away goal in the first leg, and that's what New England does not want to do in this one. Berenice then hits one right to Ravis before he puts it wide from close range in the second man of stoppage time, as it feels like Alajulense was really trying to chase for that away goal, but in the end, New England does not allow them to score an away goal, and it was a convincing 4-0 win against Alajulense. As the shots in this one, 12 shots given to 15 that Alajulense has, 11 shots on goal compared to 7 that Alajulense has. So it's quite crazy to see that 11 of the 12 shots that New England uh, had in this game was on target, but that of course is according to the MLS website. And I gotta say, the stats wise in terms of these CONCACAF Champions Cup game, I've been using both the league website and the CONCACAF Champions Cup website to use, because apparently on the league website it doesn't show the accurate possession, and it only showed it on the CONCACAF website. So yeah, again, if this is a little bit inaccurate, I mean, are you that surprised? Because it feels like, with the way that MLS haven't really talked about this competition a lot as we've seen in the past, it just kind of just another reason why it seems like they're trying to censor this competition and also the U.S. Open Cup, so they can really focus on what they really wanted, which is of course the Leeds Cup. No shots off target compared to 5 that Alajuelense has, 2 shots as blocked for the 1 that New England has, and possession-wise, 52% possession compared to 48% possession that New England has in this game. And despite the fact that New England has a big advantage heading into the second leg, that Rams fans will remind everyone that, yeah, just because it's 4-0 doesn't mean it's over. Because the last time in the first leg they were able to put a beat down against their CONCACAF opposition, which was Pumas, in the first leg. Yeah, they lost that one in the second leg. They blew that big lead. So this is not a guarantee. The fact that even though they're 4-0 up in heading into the second leg, that they're not going to be that comfortable, and especially Caleb Porter, and how I know it hasn't happened so far, but knowing his specialty of blowing leads going back to his Columbus day, yeah, I don't think Rams fans are going to be that comfortable just yet, even with the big amount of lead that they had heading into the second leg, because it only take a couple of goals for Alajuelense to score, and then it could be panic time for this New England team. It could be deja vu all over again, compared to the last time they had a big lead and just presumably blow it when they go down on the road. Now, moving on into the next game is Houston and Columbus. So this game for a while looked like it was going to end 0-0, and it's not because of lack of trying. And also, unlike the other 0-0 game, at least there was goal that was scored in this one that was disallowed. But then we saw a goal very late in this game. But early on, just like the last game, there was no one in the stands. Where are the fans in this one? And I get it; it's a 7 p.m. Kickoff on a Tuesday night, but I was expecting there should be more fans that attended this game. I mean, the last game there could be an excuse because it's a 9:30 kickoff, and you usually don't see fans show up for a 9:30 kickoff on a Tuesday. But where are the fans here for a 7 p.m. Kickoff? And I know Dynamo attendance has always been bad, but this was crazy to see how empty it was. I would say this was even more emptier than when I see them play St. Louis in that game. And again, that game kicked off at 9:30 p.m. local time. This one kicked off at 7. But not much happened, as both of these teams were just kind of feeling each other out in the beginning. That's kind of been the theme when it comes to the first leg so far. But Aliu did try to stab one into the back post, but he just missed wide there in the 10th minute before the first shot for the Crew in the 15 minute happen as Clark had to push Rossi's shot off the post. And then the post would deny Russell Rowe from 18 yards out in the 18th minute, and it's pretty clear that the post was definitely saving the Dynamo because, yeah, early on, Columbus had some really good opportunity to get the opening goal. But on the other end, Schulte would deny Seago from close range, as I thought Houston started to be threatening, especially on the transition. And this is not a big surprise because if there's one thing I mentioned before, how you can play and take advantage of Nazi ball, just go on the transition. Just hit them on the transition because, Wilfred Nazi love to commit man forward, but when you commit so many man forward, you're basically open yourself in the transition. And I thought, coming into this game, I thought this matchup would fit Houston very well because the Dynamo has always been known to be a team that likes to go on the transition. And again, it's not a big surprise that they look threatening on the transition because the fact that Columbus was really pushing a very high line in this game. Clark then in the 37th minute almost made a huge mistake here. He came off his lines there and tried to clear this one. So this is one of those instance where goalkeeper really come off his line to try to clear it. But unfortunately for him, he missed it. And Anajosa basically got this one and he basically shoot it into the empty net, but he missed wide. I mean, that's one that not only Hannah Shosa would want to have back, but that's one that he should have passed. I mean, I get it. Yes, you want to go for glory, and you see the empty net, and your eyes basically lit up. But I think if Hannah Shosa actually shows some composure, he would just laid this off right to one of his teammate because there were a couple of crew player that was right there making the run, and if you would have just passed it to them, they would have just walked in to get the opening goal of this game. But instead, Anachosa was being a little bit selfish here. And again, it was not easy to try to shoot from the halfway line. For those that have said, why can't soccer player do so when they try to score from the halfway line compared to what we see with hockey players when they hit the empty net from center ice? Well, here's the thing. Hitting the puck from center ice is definitely much more. I mean, I wouldn't say it's easier than hitting a shot from the halfway line, but in terms of distance, it is much harder to score a goal from the halfway line than it is hitting puck from center ice. And that again, that kind of maybe is an example of it because as much as we've seen some amazing goals that was hit from halfway line, they chipped the goalkeeper. It's also so more time or not, we have seen teams have tried to do so, and they just missed it badly because it's not easy. Believe me, it is much harder to try to score from the halfway line than it is if you're trying to score on an empty net from center ice. But I also thought that Clark got left off the hook in a big way because that should not have happened. Like if you're Steve Clark, and honestly, if you're just a goalkeeper in general and you come way off your line like that, you better get to it because if you don't get the ball, then you are in no man's land, and you might as well just see the other team concede and hope that people won't look that moment back because yeah, that almost was a horror mistake there from Steve Clark. Not the first time we've seen that happen in a knockout tournament game for Steve Clark as well. But in the 40th minute, Nagby would hit a shot that was deflected but missed wide, and then Schulte would deny Dorsey as he was in on goal there. And I thought there was some golden opportunity for both of these teams to get that opening goal, but who can take advantage? Well, Gabe Seago tried to do so, but he was denied by Schulte in the near post, and we do head to halftime with the score scoreless, despite the fact that there should have probably been a goal in this one if either of these teams were being a little bit more clinical in terms of their finishing. Now, in the second half, Clark would deny Rossi from close range before Cucho would miss wide from close, as I thought Columbus picked off where they left off, because right near the end, I thought Columbus were the better team near the end of the half, and that they were pressing for the opener heading into the beginning of the second half as well. But as I said that, Bartlow almost scored against the run of play as he scored here to make it 1-0 in favor of Houston. The problem was the goal was disallowed for offside, and it was the right call because when Bartlow hits the shot, Bear was in the vicinity of the shot. In fact, he was like that ball just kind of went right through it. It almost hit him as well, and he was in an offside position as well. So again, it doesn't matter if you touch the ball or not. If you're in the vicinity of a shot and you're in an offside position, they're gonna call offside every time in that call. So it is offside. The goal was disallowed. On the other end, Morris would hit one right to Clark, and then Ramirez thought that he got the opening goal for the Columbus Crew, but unfortunately for him, just like the goal that was chopped up by the Dynamo, the goal was chopped off for offside as well. And this time it was actually Ramirez, the one that was in an offside position. Not by much, though, I will say. But still, it is offside, and the game remains at 0-0. And really, as the time winds down, it looked like that's what both of these teams were sailing. I mean, that both of them were happy with the 0-0 draw. There was a lot of conservative passing, not really much risk going forward in the final third. Well, at least that was kind of the case until we head to stoppage time, because heading into stoppage time, this is when Columbus and Houston realize that, yeah, they better get a goal in this one so they can have an advantage heading into the second leg. Escobar would miss wide from close in the second minute of stoppage time. By the way, those rumor of Franco Escobar going to Inter Miami, I haven't heard those rumors in this past week, and it looked like maybe that rumor is now dead and buried, and especially now that he's starting for the Dynamo regularly. Consider he wasn't starting mainly because of that transfer rumor that was going on, but it looks like that probably is now dead, and he's going to remain with the Houston Dynamo at least for the rest of the season. And then Cucho had a shot that was deflected, but it goes onto the roof of the net. But then in the fifth minute of stoppage time, another deflected shot, it went into the back of net as Alexandro Matan would score from Yoboa to make it 1-0 in favor of Columbus. And that, yeah, as I said, it was a deflection, but this time it went into the back of net. And yeah, Columbus not only getting the big win in this one, but most importantly, they got the away goal, winning 1-0 in this game. And the shots in this one, 19 shots compared to 11 that Houston had, 4 shots on goal compared to 6 that the Crew has, 7 shot off target compared to 1 that the Dynamo has. Both teams had 5 shots that was blocked, and possession-wise, 52% possession compared to 48% possession that Houston has in this game. And not only the fact that the advantage is with the Crew right now, but I think they deserve this win. I thought they were the better team in this game, and now they have a advantage to trying to finish that off in the second leg at home, which is a place that they do not lose very often. And for Houston, now it feels like it's an impossible task, because it's one thing to get a 0-0 draw or lose 1-0 in this one if you're the road team, but yeah, the fact that they gave up that away goal, and now knowing that they have to go on the road, which is a place that Houston has not been doing very well lately in the past, and especially against a Crew team that, again, like I said, I thought they were the better team in this game. They definitely created more chances than what the Dynamo did in this one. It feels like this two-leg affair between an all MLS matchup might be in favor of the team that wears yellow and the defending MLS Cup champion to move on into the quarterfinal of the CONCACAF Champions Cup. But that being said, let me know in the comments below what do you think of both of these games. And as always, hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you do, make sure you guys do a like, smash the subscribe button. Now, the good news is tonight I'm not going to go anywhere, so I'm going to be able to watch both the Monterey versus Cincinnati game, and then of course a game that I'm pretty sure a lot of people are also looking forward to a lot, besides the Super Classico between Chivas and America in the round of 16. And that, of course, is the rematch of the Leeds Cup final between Nashville SC and Inter Miami. But until then, hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you do, make sure you like, smash the subscribe button, and yeah, I of course will see you guys next time.